Hey there, this is Holly. Thank you for being here. Today we are going to do a fun little pour. It's quite different from what I normally do. I'm going to be using some wine color paint and some spring color paints, and I'm going to be doing some puddle pours, and then we're going to bring a marble through and have some real fun. And it's always important to make sure that any little lint is off your canvas before you start. This interesting muted greenish kind of gray color is table scrapings that I have scooped up from previous paintings. I tend to scoop up my extra paint whenever I can because it can always be used. Sometimes it can be used in the painting themselves if I like the colors, and other times it can be used like I'm using it right here for flow extender. I always like to scoop up my paint drippings because I really like to maximize my supplies. And here I'm just giving it a little bit of a tilt, spreading it out. Sometimes I'll bring my flow extender off the edges, sometimes I won't. It just depends on what type of pour I'm going to do. Some of my pours, I know that they'll really be pushing that flow extender out just with the sheer volume of what I add additionally onto the canvas, and I don't really need to take the flow extender out to the corners. And other times I do feel that it is beneficial to bring the flow extender out to the corners. And here I'm just taking a bamboo skewer because I noticed that there were a few little globs in there, and I just want to see if I can get those out before I continue. And just spreading this out a little bit more. I also want to tell you, if you're here watching this soon after I have posted this video, that in a few days from now, we are going to be having an amazing collaboration. It's going to be taking place May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of 2025. It's the 5th annual crossover collaboration, May the 4th be with you, in honor of Star Wars. And this year, we're combining with the theme of Star Trek, Live Long and Prosper. It's going to be an amazing collaboration, so definitely be sure that you join us. The details are in the description below. And I do think I will add just a little bit more of this flow extender out into some of this dry area, bringing it a little closer to the corners in this particular case. Now, unfortunately, I think what happened was that my head knocked into the arm that was holding my phone, which was acting as the camera, and it got tilted, and I didn't realize it for part of the time that I was working on this painting. And this is why we're only seeing a corner of the canvas. The good thing is that you can still see overall what I'm doing. These puddles that I'm pouring, I continued to do these type of puddles, layering them in the exact same order over the whole entire canvas. And within a few moments, I did realize what happened with my camera setting, and I adjusted so you're able to see the whole canvas again. So just bear with me, be a little patient, because you will be able to get the idea of what I'm doing, because thankfully in this case, I duplicated those puddles and the exact layering throughout the whole thing. I'm getting ready to put the marble down, and the fortunate thing is that I happened to place the marble down the first time while I'm creating this within the frame of the camera. That was really fortunate within the fact that the position got altered the way that it did. So here you can see I'm tilting very carefully to control where this marble is going the best I can. That's one of the most important things if you're going to be working with a marble. If you're either new to working with a marble or you haven't done it yet, you've got to really tilt that canvas very gently, really keeping your eye on the marble and really being present to the pathway that you'd really like the marble to go, keeping all that in mind, and then moving your canvas very gently in small little movements, and just keep your eye on that marble. Hold your focus. That really helps to keep the movements under better control. And just a moment ahead, I really do fix the camera tilt, I promise you. Let me know in the comments if you're still getting the idea well enough, and if you like this color palette. You'll start to see it open up just shortly ahead, and that does take place with the full frame. The full canvas is in frame the whole time for that. Here we go, back in full frame, thankfully. So that I can more carefully and precisely add paints into the areas that I want, I'm going to be putting them on through this small funnel. This will allow me to a little bit more control where I'm putting the paint, and it'll help me to also add it in a little bit more of a layered style like I originally put it down, except it won't be in puddles. I really only want to make some adjustments in some small areas, and I don't want the paint to get out of control. And I'm going to very gently and somewhat slowly start to swirl the paints from the funnel in through the existing design. You can see I'm going in sort of a swirly, kind of wiggly line type of motion, bringing that through. And we're just going to open this up a little bit. You can see that the paint that I just added is moving a lot more than the paint that is around it that was spread out. This is actually a good thing because I really like some of those areas and I don't really want them to move a lot. This is often what will happen if you've already opened up your painting and the paint is much thinner in the bulk of the areas, and then you want to go back in and adjust a spot. Usually where you have that bulk of the new paint is the area in which it will move the most quickly, and that's because you just simply have weight from that new added paint. There's a lot more of it than in the other areas. So keep that in mind. If you haven't had that experience, or if you haven't had too much of that type of experience yet within fluid art. So we're coming back in with the marble here, just to add a little bit more of this swirly type of style that I have going in the rest of the design into the newly added parts. Look at how pretty some of those little swirls have been created by bringing that marble back through right now. I love that part down there in that lower left area. That is beautiful. And I love what's continuing to happen as I continue to work the marble up through these other areas as well. This painting is becoming more glorious to me by the moment. Let me know in the comments below if you agree or what you think of it. I'm really liking how this is coming out. I feel like it needs a few more little areas, and I'm just taking a moment to assess where I think I should put the marble next. Don't be afraid to step back, take a few deep breaths, and just assess your painting for a few moments before moving on to the next thing if you're not quite sure. When I first started with fluid art, I really thought the paints would dry much more quickly than they actually do, and that's because I had a long history of painting in a more traditional style, with paint brushes and thin layers, with acrylic paints and other types of paints as well, and in that application, they do dry very quickly. So I thought that was what was going to happen when I first was working with fluid art. But the fact of the matter is the paints dry a lot more slowly with the fluid art process. And if you've got extenders in there, such as Floetrol or GAC 800, that's going to slow the drying time down even more. But even if you have mixed your paints just with water, as I sometimes do, the drying time is actually still pretty slow. I really like how this came out, and I'd love to hear from you what you think of it. Thank you again for hanging out with me here at my channel, and I look forward to seeing you around here again soon. Like and subscribe if you believe you'd like to come back and see more of my content.